How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Elite Battle League channel. Lionheart Plays here, and today we're going to be going over the EBL Season 5 Week 2 Power Rankings. Without any further ado, there's not much to be said. This is probably going to be one of the very fast rankings that we've had in quite a while. We're not going to go into too much detail, of course, because that's what the power rankings, that's what the roundups are for. The roundups will give you the play-by-plays. The rankings will just, rank the teams. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. In the number 16 spot, we have the Raging Lake, coach of the Greater Manchester Greninjas. This team was subject to a reverse sweep by his opponent, which we'll cover later on. Not much to say with this one. He managed to get his first kill, so congratulations, Lake, on getting your first kill. But again, like I said, there's not much to be swept. Not much to be swept. Not much to be said. And the reason Lake is on here is because, again, it doesn't seem like his team was fully trained, with the Dynamax candies and everything and all that good stuff. So, yeah, that's why he's at number 16. At the number 15 spot, we have Newtbox, coach of the Carolina Garchomps. So a couple of things with this one. This is also another team that was subject to a sweep, and it did not end well for them. But to be honest, this is probably one of those. This is one of those instances, actually quite a few instances within this week, rather, where it was just a bad matchup for them. And in the case of Newt, this was definitely a bad matchup because they were going up against the San Antonio Espers. The Espers alone, their team countered their team quite nicely. And then on top of that, some of the picks that Newt brought were questionable at best. But we all know the rule that we have to do, bring, all of our Pokemons within the regular season in order for us to be qualified for playoffs. So maybe this could be an instance to where he recognized, I'm not sure, but maybe he recognized it wasn't a good play, a good matchup or whatnot. And maybe he just decided to bring up all of his teams that he didn't bring. Regardless, whether he didn't or didn't do it, wasn't a favorable matchup for him at all. And like we said, it was subject to a sweep. At the number 14 spot, we have the coach of the Iowa Incineroar, Infernalman. Now, with this one, Infernalman got discouraged. I mean, he had a plan going on, which was a sound plan. But the thing is that once I believe the Sylveon is what used Skill Swap to try to get rid of the Moxie from the Gyarados, that threw Landon for a loop, and from there he got caught off guard for the majority of the match. It wasn't his best play overall this week. He played better his first week. But Landon can only go up further from there. Maybe week 3 he pulls it off. Regardless, I think that one move is definitely what got him discouraged overall. Not discouraged, or definitely caught him off guard more than anything. But yeah, Landon is in the number 14 spot with it because he wasn't able to counter or to better adjust in time before his opponent got the best of him. In the number 13 spot, we have the coach of the Detroit Lux Rays, Gamer Views. This was a sweep. This was another sweep. He didn't bring his Kyogre. I believe he had the Kyogre, if I'm not mistaken, but he didn't bring one of his legends. It's a special tank. He could have stopped the sweep from there, bringing that Pokemon alone. But yeah, ultimately Max delayed the inevitable. The inevitable being, he would have lost the match. But yeah, this ended up being a sweep. Not much to say with this one. In the number 12 spot, we have Fort Sill. Me. Yes, I was subject to a sweep. For the first time in quite a number of years, I have been swept. And because of that, we took it pretty hard. But we will definitely bounce back because, not to toot my own horn or anything, but the last time that we lost a match, we ended up with an 11-game win streak. I think that there's a lesson to be learned in everything that we do. With this one, I feel, however, like there are definitely misplays there. Because, I got caught off guard and everything. Definitely some misplays there. However, I feel like the plan that I had moving forward, even if it was last minute, was sound. We had Halucha in there to deal with the Grimmsnarl and the spider. I forgot the Galvantula. We weren't able to be paralyzed. That we had Brick Break. We had a plan going. We had the ability to take it out and everything. Definitely the legendary lead definitely took us for a loop. And I mean, if you've seen the match, well, everything goes downhill from there. But like I said, there's lessons to be learned in every match, whether you win or lose. And we definitely learned from this, despite the fact that it was a sweep. There's not much that can be learned, but trust me, there's things to be learned in every single thing. You just have to look for it. But regardless, not to take anything away from the opponent, who was the Texas Tyrannotars, very, very tactically played. They did the right calls. They did the right calls. And of course, more information as to what happened, because I know Josh goes into detail in the roundups, so you guys can definitely check those out there. Now moving on to the 11th spot, we have Jakey, who is the coach of the Snowdonian Frostmoths. Now, with this one, I still like Jake's plays. I like how he plays a lot. Very ballsy, very, very there. There were definitely some misplays. Of course, like I said, I'm going to keep hearing it. The roundups go into more detail as to what had transpired and what could have been done differently. In this case, I feel like his Dynamax could have been better used on a different Pokemon versus the Archeops. And that may have hindered his battle. But regardless, he didn't play bad or anything, in my opinion. I just think that this is just another one of those instances where his team was just outmatched or so, however the case would be. But yeah, this was definitely one of those instances where it was just a bad matchup against his opponent, I feel. All right, so now we covered the number 11 spot. We're going to go ahead and go over to the number 10 spot, who is Pokepidge, the leader, the coach leader, yeah, the commissioner himself, the coach of the Colchester Celtics. Again, this was definitely another case where his team was just outmatched. It was just a bad matchup against his opponent. A couple of misplays here, but I mean, it wasn't as bad as, at least I feel it wasn't as bad as the previous week. Again, overall, just a bad matchup against his opponent. In the number 9 spot, we have Nate Tube, who is the coach of the Walton Wingles. Now, with this one, first off, I got to tell you this. I think Nate could have possibly won this match because of one misplay that he did. And I think that was probably his only misplay, because I think that Nate played incredibly well. Nate, if you're watching this, keep doing what you're doing, because you are improving drastically, and it is evident. It is really evident, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Just keep doing it, because you'll definitely improve and you'll win. I can definitely see a win in the future, and even this season. And just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing really good. However, the misplay that I feel that happened here was that I feel like he should have Dynamaxed the Slowbro. He had a Slowbro. Yeah, the Slowbro, while it was still +2. And had he done maxed Ooze on some of them, he would have progressively gotten stronger. I'm not saying that it would have won him the match. It probably wouldn't have. But, he would have reserved, his other Pokemon to be able to clean up and mop up from there. But I think his Dynamax Pokemon should have been the Slowbro versus the Guzzlord. The Guzzlord set, Guzzlord is tricky because it's not even a tank. It just has a insane amount of HP, and that's about it. But yeah, that's all I have to say on Nate. Just the one bad Dynamax call, but if he hadn't done that, who knows? Maybe he would have won this match. Moving on to number 8, we have Mike the Quick, who is the coach of the Florida Rowlets. Again, pulling off a win. At one point, I will say that his opponent, again, seemed to have gotten momentum over him at some point during the match and carried it over for a good portion. And, of course, it came down to the Groudon again, saving him in this matchup. So, again, that's why we placed Mike as number 8. Number 7, we have Smoosh Smoosh, who is the coach of the DTJ Dropouts, the Tijuana Dropouts. Now, I have to say, there were definitely some good plays from Smoosh that were made here on this match. The one that stood out to me the most was definitely his initial one. The skill swap on the Sylveon to the Gyarados to stop the sweep, to progressively stop the Moxie from occurring and everything. Very good play on his part in doing that. That definitely helped him, and it definitely helped phase Landon. It definitely helped catch him off guard because he was able to gain control and momentum throughout the entire match from there. Now, moving on to number 6, we have Metamaxis, who is the coach of the New York Metangs. Now, with this one, Maxis has previous battle experience and everything, so it's evident in how he plays. You know, he wasn't switching as often, but his matches are tactical. There's always a reason to why he's doing things and whatnot. He just outplayed his opponent. Sorry, Jakey, but it is what it is. He just outplayed his opponent. Ultimately having his opponent to where he wanted him ultimately to secure the win. Number 5, we have the coach of the LA Inferno, Lonely Hermit, who basically, again, it was a favorable matchup for him against the Colchester Celtics. His play, if I'm not mistaken, maybe one of his legends hit the field. Zacian didn't even hit the field. He managed to do everything with Curse, and Lapras never left the field from there. So it was a good strategy that was thought up. But yeah, he outplayed the rest of his team with the Curse set, and he managed to secure the win from there. In the number 4 spot, we have the coach of the Montebello Morpicos, Mr. Toast. Not much to say with this one. Maybe not a good play and switching out to a ground type in front of an ice type and everything to take that much unnecessary damage. But regardless, once his legend came out onto the field, he was able to take control from there. It was a reverse sweep. Not much to be said with this one. We're going to move on. Hey guys, post editor Humbeezy here. So while recording the roundups, because I was doing it while I was at work, forgot to mention number 3. So apologies for number 3. But number 3 goes to Sly Guy, who is the head coach of the San Antonio Espers. They walked away with the sweep on their Week 2 matchup against Newt Box and the Carolina Garchomps. If I'm not mistaken, it was a 6-0 sweep as well, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was. And it was the Zygarde that ended up pulling the sweep. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I know that there was a lot of things that were said in the roundups for it, but I was definitely one amongst those that kept trashing on Zygarde. It's not a bad legendary, but it's definitely not the best. However, in this matchup, it proved to outmatch everything that Newt Box brought. It just had there's nothing else to say. The Zygarde outmatched Newt Box in every way. A couple of things Newt could have done to prevent the sweep, of course, but the roundups are there. You guys can watch the roundups for the play-by-plays as to what they could have done, but regardless, at the end of the day, this ended up being a sweep in San Antonio's favor, and that's why Sly is in a number 3 spot. So congratulations, my friend, and everybody, sorry, but we're going to go ahead and move on to the number 2 spot, who is the Texas Tyrannotars, coached by the Doorman. It was a sweep. It was favorable on his side. Moving on. Again, just not to take anything, but like I said, with the Doorman, he made the right calls, led his legends. Oblivion Wing came in clutch for him. It was just favorable all the way, all around. In the practice matches, I will say the practice matches that I've had, it was never a sweep. It was always a 6-2 or a 6-5. It's not 6'2", 6'4", 6'5". I don't know how that works. There was 1 or 2 Pokemon left remaining on his side before I lost my practice matches. So it was never a sweep. It was always a close match and everything. Is just that, you know, his team just ended up countering. 5 of his draft members just countered the rest of mine perfectly. You know, it just, again, happens to be one of those matchups where it's just not favorable for one team and it is for the other. And, well, the result was the sweep. So, again, congratulations on your win, Alan. It was very good. It was very tactical. And yeah, now we'll finally move on to number 1. Number 1 being It's Really Timmy B, coach of the DC Starmies. Again, not much to say with this one because he battled Game Reviews. Game Reviews didn't bring his Kyogre or his Legend. I think it was his Kyogre. It keeps slipping, but I'm pretty sure it was the Kyogre. And without him bringing that, he was able to set up. He was able to sweep. Probably the cleanest sweep that we've had this week for the EBL. Although there was definitely something in the air, in the water, because this whole week was filled with sweeps, and it's absolutely insane. But yeah, there you have it. These are the Week 2 power rankings for the Elite Battle League Season 5. Do you agree with our spots? Do you agree with our picks? Do you agree with our placements? If you do, great. If you don't, you can write your congressman. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But if you don't agree, definitely drop a comment in the comment section. Tell us why. We're definitely looking at and listening to the comments and everything. If you have a favorite part of the video, go ahead and comment it down below. If you don't have one, comment your favorite emoji because, again, the interaction still helps us out and everything. If you have not already and you are new to the Elite Battle League channel and you do enjoy the power rankings, the top 5 fails, the weekly roundups, and the top 5 plays that are hosted by NightTube, you can definitely click the button to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when more of these videos come up. Stay tuned for Week 3's battle, which will be posted at the time of this recording tomorrow, the 11th of March, which is Saturday, and everything. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Lionheart out.